let's talk about the Orange Beast. So the Orange Beast, in order to be built, we're going to need the big generator. We're also going to need the frame of the Orange Beast and the shaker of the Orange Beast, as well as 2 of Sluiceboxes of the Orange Beast. As for connectors, things like that, mats, down at the bottom here, we actually have a new mat, Miner's Moss XL. We're going to need 16 of these on the 2 Sluiceboxes on the Orange Beast Tier 6. To go with those, you're going to need a miner grill for each one of the mats, so 16 miner grills as well. Then you're going to need a big blue water hose, as well as the blue voltage cable. Putting the pieces in place. Normally you would use a 5-meter cable for the tier 3, 4, and 5. We're actually using the 7-meter cable on this one. You might also notice that now there's a 9-meter steel cable. If you like the longer ones on the other stuff, you might want to stick within, going from 7 to a 9. Kind of how I went from a 5-meter to a 7-meter. So to kind of recap what you're going to need: 16 Miner's Moss XL mats, 16 Miner's grills. You're going to need the big generator from the shop, and you're also going to need the Orange Beast frame, the Orange Beast shaker, and the Orange Beast Sluiceboxes ×2. As for your workers, you only need 3 workers. You're going to need a shaker worker, and then 2 of the TDJ Sluicebox workers. They do the same thing as your TDJ Sluicebox workers, except for on this one, they'll switch out the bigger mats. So I've gone ahead and laid everything out here in one of the places that we're able to build. As you can see here, there's a set spot where it can be built. There's actually 2 on the new claim. If we look at the map, the Waterfall Valley, there's one up here in the north. The other one's down in the south. This is where your cabin is, so if you go down this little road and hang a left, that's where the other spot is. Look for the orange upright pillars coming out of the ground. If you're not quite there at the tier 6 Orange Beast level, you do have a spot here on the east side of the claim. You actually come in this way to the claim. You can build a tier 3, 4, or 5 in this spot. So if you're not quite ready for the tier 6, you can still run the tier 5, 4, or 3. I've already gone ahead, laid everything out. I've got cables attached to everything for easier install. But I've got the generator set up here. I've got the power cable, the water hose. I've built the water tower, and I've already filled it with water. So that's done. The 16 mats are already in place. Each Sluicebox holds 8 mats, 8 grills to go over the top. So we'll get this hooked up and start getting everything in place. Hopefully we can get it all done in one shot like I would normally build it. So we'll see. I am going to be using the new excavator to place this. I really like the new excavator. I think a lot of you are just going to enjoy it as well. Making sure I got enough height on this, I'm extending out the bucket as far as possible. Just because I know we have this little divot here, and I want to be able to clear it. It's 1 in, and that's 2 in. Alright. So we'll go ahead and just drop the cables off, because at this point we don't even need the cables anymore. Like I said, I've already got everything pre-connected. So that way all we got to do is attach it to the bucket, and then we're ready to go. So once you have the sluice boxes in place, you're going to go ahead and put the frame in next. It's kind of like how I recommend most people build the tier 3, 4, and 5 wash plants. You're going to start at the bottom and work your way up. What I mean by that is you start with your duplex jigs, then you put in your TTJ sluice boxes, then your trommel, then your ST sluice box. Then you're going to put in your S-Rock sluice box, your shaker, then your conveyor belt, and then the conveyor belt hopper. Just find it easier. Things go into place a little bit easier if you build it backwards. And so I know many people already do that, but I know there's also plenty of people who do not do that. And maybe that might help you out if you build the plant backwards. Let's see if we can get this hooked up in one shot. Nope, we're gonna have to move it this way a little bit. All right, this should do her. Okay, come on. Work with me. Now this is the only downfall of using the 7-meter cables, is it's just right there, real touchy. If you don't feel comfortable trying to use the 7s, you can always use those 9-meter cables. They're the black cables that were just introduced with the DLC. Gives you a little bit more leeway to play with. So we're going to go ahead and pick this up, pull forward. This goes at the top of the sluice boxes. Boom, just like that. So now we'll just drop all the cables off of this, because we don't need them anymore, because we've already got cables on everything else. You will notice once we snap the frame into work, there was a little, looks like some structural integrity added to the side. You also get the nameplate Orange Beast added to it. Now, depending on which side you go to add the shaker to the top of the frame, is what side you'll need to be on the shaker. We're planning to use the sluice boxes as ramps, lead us up to the front, which means on the shaker itself we need to make sure that the little motor, I'll show you that, is pointed towards us. If we were coming over the back of the framework, kind of where I was when I put the framework on the spot, then you would have all the hoses and cables pointing at you. So I'll show you that real quick. So since we're going the front way, this is the motor. Orange Beast needs to be facing you. If you were to go through the back, you would need to make sure all the hoses are facing you. So we'll just get this hooked up real quick. We're almost done. I mean, it's pretty simple. Get this all hooked up. lift this all the way up. And since this is up on top, you might need to extend your bucket out all the way to give you a little bit, almost like standing on your tippy toes with the 7 meters. You could probably get away with 5-meter cables on this one. But if you wanted to just buy one set of cables, you could just get a set of 7s and build the entire wash plant with it. So it's not terribly bad. So make sure we got that bucket fully extended up. Get to the last little bit. And then we're going to drive up this like a ramp. And we just lower this in place. Just like that, snapped on in. And that's the wash plant basically built. Now we just need to run the power to it. And we need to run the water to it. And she's done. I mean, not too bad at all. Alright. So we're going to run the power cable first. Plug that in here. And we'll just zig it around, zig it and zag it. Plugs in right here at the base on the frame. And we'll do the same with the water, kind of zig-zag, hide it back there. You know, it doesn't have to. You can run it however you'd like. But I know some people like to keep their claim looking neat and tidy. So this is going to plug into the big pipe at the base of the frame. And that's it. You have an Orange Beast plant built. This is your tier 6. You do have on the sides here places to hold your mats. So when you have a worker assigned, you can put the extra mats on the side. Boop, as you can see. So there are a couple of breakable parts on here. Right off the bat, we'll go over to the parts analyzer. You have a spring right up here. You also have a hydraulic hose. And then on the other side, you've got another spring. I don't think there's more than just two springs. Yeah, there's only 2 springs that need to be replaced if it does go bad. So, pretty simple for maintenance. Typically at this point, you probably already have mechanics, things like that. But if you don't, those are the parts that you'd have to replace if they do break. If you want to know some more information, if you go into Journal, you'll notice that they kind of changed the tabs a little bit. But you can go to wash plants here and skip through until you find the Orange Beast, which is right here. Kind of gives you an idea of what you need, your water usage, your power usage, the list of spare parts that you could pick up. It also gives you the price in the store. So, but yeah, it looks like they also moved the tabs down here. So you got Waterfall Valley, Rivertown, Pine Valley, Old Arnold, and Nighthawk parcels. They're all right here. So it's kind of a cool little setup. I like how they've done that. So if you click on Waterfall Valley, it'll give you more information about the claim. So it talks about a real challenge working here, how deep the claim really is, things like that, your cabin. Really cool stuff to check out. But this is more about building the Orange Beast, your workers, things like that. So this is probably a pretty simple wash plant setup, probably easier than your tier 3, 4, and 5 to build. Simply a shaker on a frame, 2 sluice boxes, 16 of the new green Miner Moss XL mats, and then 16 of the Miner's grills, a blue water hose, your blue power cable, the big generator. That's it. That's as easy as it is. So I want to say thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you later.